Bye, bird. I'm going now. Can you please not be angry at me? Bye, dog. I'll see you next year. You didn't even know what's happening, do ya? Okay. Majestic. Bye-bye.
2 years of fretting and fiddling with an Excel spreadsheet led me somewhere that I was always hoping to get to, but never quite believed I would ever arrive at. The departure lounge of Brisbane Airport, boarding a plane bound for Auckland.
The next train departing from platform 4 is a Western Line service to Swansea.
Despite all that planning, I'll admit there was still a lot of fear swirling around my head as my dreams became reality. Concerns that mainly revolved around my health and fitness, the trail community, the trail itself, and New Zealand's famously wet weather.
I was supposed to start walking yesterday. In fact, yesterday, the weather was lovely. It's been a great day's walking. The trouble is, today isn't. If it isn't obvious.
With an ex-cyclone on its way, I was forced to hunker down in Kaitaia for 2 days. Having to already make changes to my itinerary didn't feel great, but I really didn't have a choice in the matter. Lighthouse. Fast becoming a backpack-carrying ball of anxiety, I ripped the band-aid off on Monday the 30th of October, reaching Cape Reinga before turning south, a direction I would become all too familiar with in the coming months.
So that is where I should be going. Down there, onto Twilight Beach. Unfortunately, I can't. Time to start. I have to head that way for about 5 k's and then I'll reach the beach. Please don't be cold. Please don't be cold. Please don't be cold. Oh, it's cold.
I knew there would be days on trail where I would have to face strong winds and heavy rain. It's New Zealand. But to face both of these, on day one, on the wide exposed sands of 90 Mile Beach, that was particularly awful.
Shelter. Oh, splendid. I will take that. Another very great day on the TA.
Turns out walking on flat compacted sand all day is deceptively hard, and because of how remote the beach is, I had to walk upwards of 30 k's on my first 2 days on trail. As a result, I made the mistake of going too fast on untrained feet. It wasn't so much the moving that was the issue, it was stopping and then trying to get started again. Because if I ever stopped, my legs would instantly seize up.
Oh yes, you got sunlight. I am back on the beach. It's still just mesmerized by just how fast it all is. It just keeps going. Your flight? Is that what you want? Alright, you hiking, boys?
Yeah, I see you. Am I on the GoPro now?
Yeah, you are.
That's so cool.
Alright, see you at Aotearoa.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, see you.
See ya.
All in all, starting a 3,000 kilometer hike by walking along a beach for 4 days straight was a brutal introduction to the TA. Throwing my plan to walk every single inch out the window, I hitched back to Kaitaia and had my first rest day to heal my damaged feet.
I have reached the end of 90 Mile Beach. No more sand. Yes.
How you doing? How was the fish and chips?
Well done.
You guys eat food? Finish. Oh, it's looking delicious.
90 Mile Beach.
Yeah.
Following 90 Mile Beach is Rātia Forest, a section that we, bravely avoided. The forest is known for one thing: mud. Just a ridiculous amount of mud. An amount that I just wasn't mentally ready for. Thankfully, when Cyclone Gabriel came through in early 2023, a bypass route was opened up that would take us around the worst of it.
Nice. Hang on. Oh, that's a bit deep. Not too bad. Not too bad. Hang on. I think I see a path through. Hang on. That's quite a big drop off. Yeah. One pulp, there you go. Oh, careful, yeah. You would think, with all this moisture on my tents, that it rained last night. But no. This is all from dew.
A mixture of walking and hitchhiking led us to the start of the Peketi Forest, which would end up being my first real taste at what the TA would offer me for the rest of the way to Bluff.
Can't take you anywhere. Or rather, you can't go anywhere without me.
That's what I was gonna say. It's the opposite of can't take me anywhere. You have to take me everywhere.
The environment is second to none, exploding with flora and fauna, but the track itself leaves a lot to be desired.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Case in point, our journey through the forest began with a peaceful wade through the Mangapukahukunu stream. Having enjoyed travelling at a blistering pace, pun intended, so far, to suddenly drop from 5 to 2k's an hour was rather frustrating. I admit, I got impatient, and as a consequence of that, I didn't get to appreciate the beauty of this forest as much as I should have. What followed was a fairly easy walk to Kerikeri through the first of many farm tracks, the main challenge coming from my health, or rather lack thereof. It was nothing major, just a sore throat and a nasty cough, but I knew the best course of action was to take some more time off. Unlike my rest day in Kaitaia, this time I would have to say goodbye to the first friends I'd made on trail. Combined with now being several days behind where I wanted to be, I spent those 2 days in Kerikeri in a very bad headspace, and I began pondering how quickly I could get back to Auckland and get on a flight back home. So what stopped me? Well, it was a piece of advice I received from a fellow hiker whilst I was waiting out the storm in Kaitaia. Don't quit on a bad day. Boy am I glad I followed that saying, because after 2 days of nothing, I felt much better, and in that time, a few of my other hiking buddies had caught up with me.
That's Paihia down there. And that's just, you know, the Bay of Islands. It's a bay, and it has islands.
Northland, and frankly the whole North Island in general, tends to be seen as an inferior section of the trail compared to the more spectacular views down south. I understand why this reputation exists, but there are still some absolute gems on offer up north, the Bay of Islands being one of them. The next part of my journey should have taken me through the Kauri-filled Russell Forest. Sadly, Kauri dieback was found in the forest a few years ago, which forced Doc to close all tracks through it, leaving us with no choice but to skirt around it on a gravel road. A road that had a disturbingly large number of wrecked and abandoned cars down the sides of it.
So I just walked out the wrong road for about 1.5 k's. You see, I saw that sign with the things that say closed and I'm thinking, okay, that's the old route into Russell Forest, which is shut. Clearly, I forgot, you can't really see, but there are 2 orange marker arrows there. So I did have to go down here, but I didn't see the arrow. Good job, me.
There is no cure for Kauri dieback, and it can spread through the smallest amount of soil. So when you have hundreds of hikers tramping through the forest every year, the risk of killing off these beautiful behemoths is far too high, hence why this forest and many others have been closed to the public.
$300 kilometers, baby. 1/10 done. Ah, very nice. Can I help you?
A long, boring, but easy day out of Whananaki led me to the town of Nungaroo and Nikau Bay campsite, a TA favourite. Sadly for us, we couldn't stay there. In our way were two large rivers that must be crossed at low tide. It wasn't feasible to get them both done in one day, leaving us with no choice but to press on and complete the first one straight away.
I just spent 5 minutes putting all my rain gear on because a shower came through and I thought, oh, it's going to get heavier. This will be worth it this time. As soon as I got everything on, it stopped. And now I know in 10 minutes I'm going to take it all off again because I'm going to start overheating.
River crossings are one of the main features of Te Araroa, a feature that I haven't really experienced before on any of my past hiking adventures. Thankfully, the slow, shallow Hora Hora River was a nice way for me to get some practice in before I hit the more dangerous crossings further south. It's a good thing I got that practice, because the next crossing is over the Tai Tokerau estuary. Three kilometers of mudflats, wind, and thigh-high water. And that's at low tide. You can use your imagination at what it will be like at high tide.
Yummy.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's. Yep. Oh, that's gross.
Bramp Head is the mountain you see in the distance, and yes, I have to go up and over it. It would mark the first major climb of my journey, and I was bracing myself for a hard, slow day. Because of that, I ended up enjoying the climb far more than I anticipated, becoming one of the highlights of my time in Northland.
Oh, you're very chill. Hi.
Taking a water taxi across Whangarei Harbour led to the rather odd situation of walking down Ruakaka Beach with quite a large group of people. We were all pretty sick of beaches by this point, so to pass the time, we started kicking a golf ball that we found on the sands.
Hey!
That one small addition turned what should have been a fairly unremarkable section of the trail into one of my fondest memories.
They got birds. They got birds, they got budgies. Budgies, and they have teals. Oh, they have teals. Hello, teals. Love you.
The first 3 weeks of a thru hike are often the most physically taxing, because in essence, you're forcing your body to adapt to a completely different way of living than you're probably used to. So, your body is going to do what it does best: whinge, complain, and beg for relief. But in the end, it does adapt, and as I near the end of my time in Northland, I can feel my trail legs starting to emerge.
This will be my last day walking in Northland.
This doesn't mean that the trail will be smooth sailing from here, far from it. However, I now have the confidence that I have the physical capacity to go the distance.
It is day 22 of the trail, officially marking 3 weeks since I began up at Empyrean, and I'm about to exit Northland. Welcome to Auckland.